People the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com, and we're back to try cutting the baby powder soap again. I had it in this mold. When I took it out, it went to stick, so since it was a little soft, I took the other mold that's just like it. First, I wrapped it in a paper towel, and then put it in here so that way it can come right out. Okay. Now, I figured that way every place it was soft, and I did pat in the soap that was sticking and, to knock everything back into the bar so it would dry as one unit. But every place the paper towel is, it might retexture it to the look of the paper towel. And since it had like little conjoining circles, that'd be kind of cool. Now, let's get this soap a-cutting, shall we? And just as if it was freezer paper or pressing seal, I lift it up and put it back down so that way it's not stuck to my soap. Now, we're going to bring the cheese cutter on over here. Light is on out my way. That way I can just feed it over. There's nothing else. I'm thinking I can cut this directly. And actually, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this in half. So that way I don't have to worry about trying to pick up the 5-pound mold if it's too soft. And then here it goes trying to break in half on me. I've had that experience before. Not fun at all. So we're just going to do that. And if nothing else, those raw edges will just give me more samples. There's nothing bad in soap making. Ooh, wow. Okay, wait till we get to this, y'all. It's going to be pretty. But first, let's get rid of that raw edge. Well, first, before we do any of that, let me get the box that I'm going to put them in. We're ready to go. Yeah. Okay. We're about to have company joining us. Yep. Because Mom's coming to sew, I do believe. So, let's put that there. And let's trim off this little... Wow. Look at that. I'm not even sure how I got that. This was an in-the-pot swirl. But I like it. Okay. I did do something a little different. Instead of using titanium dioxide, I used a strong pink and diamond dust as the base color, and then added soft green, blue violet, and true coral to it to get the in the pot swirl. And that's how that's looking. Oh, did I mention there's ash on the top? So it looks like I sprinkled white powder on top of it, and I did not. So it looks like that on the top, and of course the bright, vibrant color you just seen on the inside. So let's see what else it has in store for me. I'm giving this a full inch since I want them to be 5 ounces or more. That's how that one's looking. And as you can tell, the bottom isn't compromised by the paper towel. In fact, I think the paper towel actually improved the look of it. Because at one point, there was kind of a tunnel effect. See that? But because of the way I did it with the smoothing back in and then putting on the paper towel, it's now nice and even and ready to cut. So, let's go further on down the way and see what else is hiding inside of this baby powder soap, which is cutting like a dream. I mean, literally, that was no effort. Look at that side. And look at this side. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera. And these are all Not quite an inch thick. It's more of like 1.25 inches. And since these are cpop, which means they'll be ready to list in less than a week, but I'm going to wait for 2 weeks, they're a nice healthy size soap. So pretty. Oddly enough, I'm not seeing the coral, which would have looked light pink or white. I'm assuming it's in here somewhere. I actually had more of it than I did the blue and the green in the color cup. So maybe the strong pink and the green and the blue overshadowed it. But it's all good. It's looking great. It's looking great. Now, next up. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to move this box. It's too close to the edge of the table. That one's looking much different than the other side, which is looking almost like a reverse swirl. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's what I love about in the pot swirls. You never, ever, ever can guess how it's going to look at the time you cut it, because it's always different every time. Let's move this over here. And this I can move, well, I can just stand it up on the side right there. And let's see what this one's going to bring me. I was actually expecting it to look a little bit different on the inside. Let's move this end piece out of my way so I can put more soaps in there today. And we had a little rain earlier. I was already to jump in it and, you know, dance in the rain like, hey. Barely got wet, then it stopped. And that just par for the course. There we go. And then, of course, this is the one we cut from the middle. This is going to be a little thin. Actually, it's right at the 1 inch mark, so let's see what happens when I put it there and then cut the part that's hanging over. Pretty. And that'll make a good sample. Yep. Samples are always fun, especially when they smell like this. Now this one I'm thinking is going to be the house soap because it is rather thin, and if it doesn't weigh over, you know, I don't sell my soaps if they're under 3 ounces, and if I'm aiming for 5 ounces and it's only like 3, then I might not even bother to sell it. But I can see the coral is peeking in right there and right there, but the green and the blue is still in the show. I can put that over here where I got the sample, so that way I don't get it mixed up with the main size bars. Ooh, these are gonna be pretty. Now let's move this over and move this over. Get a nice even edge going on, which means lining it up, and then slicing it. So this will have a lot of samples, but that's all good because I made a 5-pound batch. Actually, I made 84 ounces, which is more than 5 pounds. And my mold, which I thought was a 5-pound mold, it had this much room left at the top, so I need to double check to make sure that's a true 5-pound mold, or if it's actually more. I'm thinking it's more, because I know I didn't make too little soap. Alrighty then. Now, oh, and on this part you can really see the ash. You see that? That's the blue right there. And it looks like it has baby powder sprinkled on it. Oh, and there's one part where it's slightly darker. That's where I did the litmus test. I figured do the litmus test right where the darker color was, so that way, if it shows up like it sometimes do on the soap, it doesn't show up in a really obvious way. Alrighty then. And I have discovered Melton Pour has a certain format, and when you do the same type of swirl in a cold process, you get a whole different thing. That's like, this is an in the pot swirl, but the mode is a standard rectangle 5-pound mode, and instead of the little swirls or whirls that you get sometimes when you use a tall mode or a different shape mode,